introduce you to that we will be bringing to you here on this channel. I hope you all enjoy each of them, and please feel free to subscribe to us and follow us here, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, and Wordpress, so that you can stay updated to all of our broadcasts and future upcoming broadcasts as well. Welcome everyone to Urban and Folk Legends. I'd like to introduce you to this. I know some of you guys have seen it through my introductions videos and stuff, and this is going to be a monthly feature for right now, where we will discuss things like vampires, werewolves, urban legends like Crystal Lake, Gall's Woods, folk legends, myths, and I will also be doing my paranormal investigations that are upcoming in the year on urban and folk legends as well, because after all, they do have its roots in those areas. And it's kind of going to be a brief kind of introduction, but I'm going to discuss a few things. Like tonight, I think we'll just pick a topic like vampires. Classic vampire, the legends, but where do the origins of the myths and the folk legends originate from? You know, I've recently stumbled across some things I should have known but didn't know, or probably didn't pay attention to, when I actually wrote some lectures and stuff on various subjects that intrigued me, especially when it comes to vampires or vampirism, or however you ever call it. Seems people call it many things. I mean, we can go search throughout history. It's been there. Many books have been written. It's been glamorized. Do vampires exist? In a sense. In the classical literal sense, no. Not as we see they portray on TV, through TV series. There is folk legends of them that date back centuries. And we'll discuss a little bit of that. You know, we're going to kind of get to some of the roots of it. And we have to look at many cultures around the world to get the understanding and concept of what the vampire was. Well, I say that they're blood drinkers. Yes, maybe. In a sense, we have to look at some of our more cannibalistic tribes or warrior tribes like the Aztecs, Incas, and Mayas. Their belief system in eating the heart and the blood, transferring the knowledge and information and wisdom from the person's blood or from their heart and transferring it upon us by consuming it. That is a form of vampirism. One of the older forms that we know of. There is another form that is even older, which is only expressed and can be found in the occult community. When we're dealing with the astral plane, which is the Sephira of Yesod, and its Kutlith counterpart. As we find that that's where these beings reside in the occult literature. They are the psychic vamps, draining energy from a person. We find this also within the empath communities. Those who are empaths, especially those who are new and unaware of the ability. They are natural psychic vamps. They don't know any better. They don't realize they're doing it. Not that they're the classical traditional sense of a psychic vamp. But within that group, there are those that realize it, realize what it's doing, and that is, in a sense, another form of vampirism. The taking of one's energy. to energize and charge yourself, and along with it, imparting information and knowledge that that person has as you draw from their energy, their life force, depleting them, as it is stated, when you venture to these realms of the realm of the astral plane, you can encounter such beings and become trapped within, to where you have to been so drained that you become, the only way to get out is to become a psychic bank, feeding off others within the astral plane. Then those usually end up becoming the ones that come around people, trigger them, trigger their emotions, to siphon these things. It is the traditional sense of vampirism. We each are, in a way, we're all a little bit of vampirics in that sense. We all have the ability to siphon energy, drain energy, channel energy. But as I said, also in other cultures, it was believed by consuming the blood or the organs, the brain, the heart, as such, was to transfer the knowledge of that person onto you. Which is, in a sense, another form of vampirism. From these things, myth and legend come about. Whether it be, classical sense, it is fantasy. It is just a myth. There's no fiction. It's all fiction. There's no non-fiction to it. But yet there is a non-fiction side of it, as I've stated. We can find all these legends throughout each culture. When discussing werewolves, we have the skinwalkers. Native Indians believed in shape-shifting. Which I bring this up because the classical idea of vampirism, the old classical sense, they could transform into bats or rats, form a transforming oneself, much like the Native Americans believed, and be able to become something else. As in, like some of the Druidic cultures also believed in being able to transform yourself into another being to travel. It is important to understand that when we're dealing with myths, legends, folklores, urban legends, there is some truth in all of them. But most people, a lot of this becomes so glamorized because, it stirs those energies, those fears of watching it, the excitement you get of watching a horror movie or investigating a paranormal place, a paranormal activity in a place. You're drawn to it. You feel the energy. You're charged. In a sense, when we're dealing with entities like that, it is another form of vampirism. As many paranormal investigators will tell you, sometimes they'll leave a place feeling completely drained, as if something drained their energy. Some willingly give their energy to help things manifest. So in a sense, we're still dealing with the idea of the vampirism nature of the world we live in. And a lot of times, especially those that are more in tune with things and have some understanding of cult practices and structures, we read this and see it, but we don't actually, until it happens and you feel it, you don't realize it. You don't realize, oh wait, and you don't think about, well, this is vampirism, this is psychic vamp attack. The classic vampire, could be a person that you just met, walked by, not even know. Are they going to sink their fangs into you? No. in most cases, some of those old traditions have long died out. There's still those that practice the idea of blood drinking and letting to gain knowledge and information. But then there's the other side of things, the energy side, the transference, the siphoning of energy. When we do that, we're not only just getting your energy, we're getting those emotions that's feeding those energy. We're also getting a part of you, some of your memories, things about you. This is still a form of vampirism. We're taking something from you without permission, without your will. And yes, there's ways to protect yourself for these things, but we're not going to get into it. We're just getting into the discussion of these things. Maybe we'll cover a little bit forms of way to protect yourself. I think many of the paranormal community will enjoy some of these videos. It is important to be aware. If you start feeling that, you need to find a way to put up a block or project the opposite energy that they're trying to draw. Don't let something trigger you. Don't let fear, in any of these case scenarios, fear has no place in anything we do. If we're investigating the paranormal, we cannot have even an ounce of fear. So when you have fear, you create a chink in your armor. You create a way for them to get in to trigger and take. We're already walking into a place expecting something. So we already got built up energy that they can use to manifest or cause harm or to drain us. Most people don't consider the paranormal world, ghosts, things that go bump in the night, shadowing, poltergeists, as vampiric beings. But they are. They take your energy. They need your energy to manifest. Or some of them that are more intelligent do it to feed off you. You are food for them. So no, we're not talking about your classical everyday vampires. Vampires, in a sense, are real, but not in the classical literal movie sense. They siphon energy. And yes, there's still some, I know a few groups I've heard of, talked to a few people, where some of these practices are practiced, like the bloodletting and blood drinking. But is it a real vampire? No. But like I said, behind every myth, legend, and folklore, there is some truth to be found. Now people are going to say, well, you're talking about ghosts or paranormal, then we're not talking about vampires. But yet, you've got to look at how I define it, how it is defined in the occult teachings. That when you deal with such things, especially even dealing with demonic beings, they try to demand a payment of either energy or something. It's a form of vampirism. There's people that walk this earth today that only care about one thing, of feeding off others and draining them. And some of them, it's not because of the information and knowledge that they acquire from that person. It's just food for them. They don't know how to live without it. It's an addiction in a sense. Like I said, when we're dealing with the empath community, the new beginners that are aware of what they are tend to do this more to others and not realize it until they are told what they are doing, and they realize, then they realize, okay, I can control it, I don't want to be doing this. But there are some dark things out there. And like I said, I chose to pick vampirism for the first one just because it's the most common one. the one we are introduced with every day with TV series. And at least every couple of years they're coming out with a new movie, whether it be B-rated or popular. You know, it's everybody's fascination. You know, if you ask me top fascination, vampires is right there at the top, along with werewolves, then ghosts, and paranormal, other paranormal entities and beings. And it's amazing as you look through each culture to find the different folk legends, urban legends, myths that are there. Every culture has them. The Asian culture is rich with folk legends and lores, with dragons and other entities and beings. The Islamic or Arab communities, the jinn, Christianity, angels and demonic beings, they all hold a place in this. Bigfoot, the fallen, which will be my next video. I will be doing a video on the fallen. And that's all I'm going to say. I gave you all the information you need. I'm just going to be a little cryptic about it, because I think it'll be fun. Actually, I might just do it with this one. Give you a two-part series here on one video, just because it's something fun. Something, like I said, this is more of an introduction anyway. So let's have fun with it. I'm in the mood to have some fun. Right now, it's been a bad day. Let's talk about the fallen angels, the fallen. Or as they're also called, the Nephilim, the Nephilims. Well, we all know the Christian story of how the angels rebelled and fell and were cast down to earth. They became the fallen. They became what we know as the demonic, the demons, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call them, Lilith. And and when they came down to earth, they procreated with women and impregnated the women, and the race of giants, or Nephilim, became, and they taught their children the sciences, astrology, occult, all the things that was originally forbidden from the Garden of Eden, from the eating of the tree of life. They started teaching them math, reading, writing. You know, to this day, I mean, just this year alone, there's been like four more discoveries that went public about bones of giants being found. I've watched a few other people's discussions on the Nephilim, and they're interesting because, you know, they're much like dealing with the dinosaurs. Technically, that's a myth and legend because all we have is the bones. Oh wait, if we have bones, that means it's no longer a myth or a legend. But yet it is, because they don't exist today. We don't know what they were like or what they did. But we have no explanation for these bones. Now here's where I'm going to kind of blow your mind back. Do we still have a race of giants walking this earth today? I would say yes. Can't prove it. But then again, maybe we can. We have Sasquatch stories, Bigfoot, Yeti, and the various names of the species goes on. But yet, people that done researches, gotten the prints, the cast, they found hairs, DNA, we get them tested, it comes back an unknown species because there's not enough DNA in the database to give it a name. So let's treat Bigfoot as an intellectual being, as a Nephilim. You know, we see how the human race has evolved over the years. So if there is a race of giants still walking the earth, would they not have evolved? as well. I mean, the knowledge that was transpired to them, given to them, would allow them to hide amongst civilization as they have throughout centuries. After all, are they not part angelic? Because, let's go know, part of the rebellion and the fall was because they came down and procreated with and had children with the human race. That was part of the reason why they were cast out. So at the time, we have a race of giants evolving that is part celestial, angelic, or whatever word you want to use for it. They weren't yet demonic. They may never have been demonic. Because what is the Nephilim? That is what the Nephilim is. The children of the angels. Of angel and man and women. And man. So, I don't know if angels have gender. Suppose they could. They can show themselves as anything they wish you to perceive them as. That's, when we start dealing with the occult philosophies and teachings, things like this, we're dealing with unknowns. There's no right answer, wrong answer. I'm just giving you different ways to view these things. Make you think, make you question, make you go do some research on your own. This is meant to be fun. But let's think about Bigfoot as a Nephilim, an ancestor of the Nephilim. They would be perfect in the ways of camouflage, in the ways of the old arts. They'd be able to hide amongst man and not be seen. They would be very intelligent beings, not stupid as we kind of think they are. We think of them more animal or a primate like ape-like. These are the things that interest me. I don't know why I thought about it. Just one day I was sitting out. I think I was in North Carolina, sitting around. Like, me and my teacher, mentor, we always joke around. We'll never see one. Not even a little bit. Which is probably the most, shoot us reverse, I'd probably think the same thing. These idiots are going to shoot me and sell me to some college which, who won it? You want to be the first to prove Bigfoot is real. And you're going to cash in on that. Most people would. I think all people would, given a chance. That's be the find of the century, to find a Bigfoot. But I believe they're very intelligent, very smart. Smart enough to hide from us. Even though they are probably would be more dangerous to us than us to them, but they've seen how man has been. Guys, we'll even talk about aliens, because let's keep it real. If you look at our civilization, our societies, how we've progressed and grown, and what we become, try to put the shoe on the other foot and become them. Would you want to come here and be something foreign after seeing how we treat everybody? I wouldn't. So, because they know, we might be hunted, even though we might be stronger, better, and faster. These humans know how to hunt in numbers. They know how to be crafty. They're just intelligent as we are. Which is why they don't show themselves. Why most things don't show themselves to everyday people. They've seen how we are. But let's suppose, let's think about this. If they were, but Bigfoot is just another evolution of the Nephilim. We've all evolved as years go, and we've gotten smarter, we've learned. So take the knowledge that they've received. We can go farther with this. Even, some people think the Nephilims still walk this earth. That they are the watchers, the ones that give knowledge or tell, I don't want to go there, but I will, or the ones that confer and try to control society. enslaved in a system. Because after all, we are in part other reason why they rebelled and fell. We were given more importance than they were. So they came down. They seen God's creation. They procreated with God's creation. They created their own race, the Nephilim, the race of the giants. And he says that tied in a lot of things, just in under 30 minutes. But we also always got to be able to think outside the box, because we deal with the unknown all the time. Yes, we want to prove these theories right, and that we're not wrong, that these things exist. And in order to do that, we got to start building foundations based on what truthful facts we can find. As I stated with vampires, and we can go through cultures and see the origins of how the folk legend could have evolved. That we've learned through archaeology and other studies that they did do these things through written language. Makes you wonder where some of our great inventions, how civilizations of past built such intricate, elaborate systems that to this day we cannot figure out how they built, like the pyramids. Was there some time in our human history that we interacted with Bigfoot and it raced the giants? Maybe. But it does explain why we hear all these stories, but there's no proof. Because if they are part of the race of the Nephilim, therefore they have all this knowledge, they have that part of that angelic spark, / demonic, if you want to say it, I don't know. But, they weren't demons, they were still angels when they procreated with man, when the race of the Nephilim was created. As far as we know, we've seen how evolution and the humans have evolved over the centuries and millennia to become what we are today, and we still see us evolving more and more. Where do we learn these knowledges and teachings from? Did we learn these from the Nephilim? Or did the Nephilim become no longer giants, but managed to transform themselves through breeding with other humans? Religions are based on cults as well. We just don't look past the fact that maybe they created themselves and acted like gods to where they grew followers and procreated with the followers. As we know, the more you breed, the more you can change the race. Science and DNA has proven that. When an interracial couple marries, sometimes the children come out a lighter color or a different color or different eyes. Well, when that child grows up and marries, the same process happens, and their children are lighter color. It also depends on climate, where the sun and where the equators are. The difference is there. It also feels and affects our pigments and our skin. That's why races in the southern hemisphere are more darker, and more tropical or desert-type climates, why they are darker. They need the skin pigment. Their skin pigment needs to be darker to protect them from the sun. Our bodies adapt and change accordingly. So it is quite possible that the Nephilim, the Bigfoot, and stuff have and do walk amongst us, right? Could be our neighbors. We would not know. They may not even know that's where they're from until that enlightenment comes to them. Like I said, we're always going to be dealing with the unknown. But these are things all the stuff I've watched, paranormal investigations, people that archaeologists have talked to, things I've studied, nobody's ever talked about this. Nobody's put a connection to Bigfoot and Nephilim. I think it's worth looking into a little bit more, and I will revisit this as a whole topic and show you some research, show you how I researched it. But for now, this is just fun and just talking about things. Like I was talking about vampirism. We do have vampires walking this earth. They're regular people that siphon your energy. And there's some groups out there that practice some of the older things that they call vampirism because they don't know that these other cultures practice this for transferring knowledge, wisdom, generations from their forefathers. That's how they took it upon themselves or became that person. It's a little bit. You can see a little bit of this even in the Egyptiology. So we always got to be thinking outside the box. We always got to be asking questions. Because most people wouldn't even acknowledge that in paranormal, that dealing with ghosts and entities and such, they go bump in the night, shadowing, that they are a vampire, a form of vampire. As the occult tradition teaches, vampirism is a form of taking one's energy. And that could be through just channeling a person's energy and draining them, or taking and communing on blood or other organs. The Nephilim, honestly, for the most part, really never interested me. Just because I've always known the story behind it and what they were. Not Bigfoot, on the other hand, kind of interested me. You always hear it's always an interesting subject. But I don't even know why to this day I connected the two. But in a sense, Bigfoot is a giant. It's a race of giants. They're taller than humans. They might be shorter than the original Nephilim. But I've also explained how that process could have happened. They could be the ancestors, just a further generation of their ancestors, which were originally the Nephilim. Makes you think. Because there's a reason why it's hard to get evidence on the Bigfoot. To me, I can't see them as stupid. From all the studies I've done, people I've talked to that investigated it, it seems there's a form of communication with the knocking or vocals that you just is out of place. And like I said, if their energy comes from the Nephilim, then would not they have the same abilities that they had? Those abilities could be blending into the surroundings, being invisible to people. Much how like ghosts and other entities are. How they need energy, but yet they're more evolved. I think a lot of people look at Bigfoot as, we think of it as a stupid animal. I don't think they're stupid. I think they're very intelligent. And I think they do exist. But like everybody else, you cannot prove it. You can only go with what you can find in folk legends and lores. And I'm taking a big leap on this one and taking it all the way back to the Nephilim, which is the first race of giants. That we're now finding bones of. Sometimes it makes you question maybe some of these bones we're finding. Were they the Nephilim or was I Bigfoot? They're not found in the traditional sense in these areas where we believe Bigfoot to exist and roam. But then again, look how much this world's changed over the centuries. how it's moved, went through how Mother Nature's changed it. What once used to be tropical is now desert, and what used to be desert is now tropical. What used to be lush and fertile grounds is now covered in ice. You know, like I said, we're going to discuss these things and more. I wanted something fun to do, something, hey, we can just sit back, relax. Because there's, in a sense, all this is just ideas and theories, things to throw about. May help introduce new forms of way to investigate. Like maybe by me stating that somebody that works with the DNA field might try to find a way to check the DNA of these bones that they've found and see if they match to some of the evidence that's been found that's been labeled as unknown species because there's not enough DNA. Which would make a lot of it start to make sense, and we could start building the foundations, the truth of this forgotten race, lost race, that still might walk this earth. That, every year, countless eyewitnesses claim they've seen or heard a Bigfoot. Are we looking at a lost ancestor of the Nephilims? I can't honestly answer it. I'm more inclined to believe that right now, just because stuff like that just don't come to you. It's because you're in communion with things, listening to things, and I just happen to be in an area that would be what I'd consider a prime environment for them. It used to be old native land. Things speak to you, and that's what was spoken to me. That's what was impression implied to me. And it was like a light bulb going, I never thought of that. It makes things interesting. It makes us want to research farther and deeper, talk to others and share these thoughts in different fields. Maybe they will take the concept as I never thought of that. That was my risk. I never thought of that. Why did I think of that? Or why am I thinking of that? Questions. We're always supposed to question things. And it was a good question because it makes sense, in a sense. It explains things. Is it right or wrong? That's for you guys to decide. I'm going to research it farther. I'm not going to go searching for Bigfoot. Like I said, not going to happen. They would see me and say, no. We'll go show ourselves to somebody else, not that one. That's just the way things work. But then again, it would be nice to see somebody prove this theory right. Because it might be that door we've been looking for to open up to establish communication. But then again, it goes back, we've seen how our human society is. Would we want to really disclose that information? Because I know there'd be people that would want to hunt them. And this, like I said, sometimes we got to step outside the box and put ourselves in maybe a make-believe position in their shoes. Because right now we don't know if they exist or do. But let's say they did. Let's put ourselves in those shoes. Would you want to communicate with our race after seeing what we're capable of and what we do on a daily basis? How that some people just would hunt them for sport? And I'm willing to bet somewhere out there are people that have talked with them. But they're not going to speak of it just because they see this connection that I just pointed out. Some may believe these are spiritual beings or even gods. We know there's primitive. We're finding to this day in Brazil new cannibalistic tribes of Indians, new tribes that we didn't know existed. And we're constantly finding new, every day they're finding something new, whether it be in the ocean, rainforests. We're finding new species. Sometimes it's because we get so caught up in things, we don't look, we think we found everything. And every time we think we find everything, something new pops up that's like, hey. So, yes, there's possibilities for everything we discuss. For me, when it comes to dealing with the paranormal world, I know it exists. I've seen it. I've interacted with it. On both sides of the coin, everybody wants to put labels on stuff. I've experienced angelic presences and beings, demonic, ghosts, other entities, shadowing, a few other things out there there's things that walk this earth that we don't even know about yet, that hasn't showed themselves. We've become a society that are so close-minded and stuck on one ideology and one set of beliefs and can't see past that to new things. That's why I love doing articles in the magazine for urban and folk legends, because there's so much to get into, so much to explore. It's fun. Yes, some of it's going to take some money to do, but hey, that's beside the point. It's still fun. When the time comes to do the things will supply themselves. That's the way I believe. I've lived my life that way for a very long time, and it does. Like today, you have your ups and downs. Things come out of nowhere that you might not have known, and you just deal with it. Okay, it'll work itself out. That's the idea. That's the mindset you have to have in things. It'll work itself out. It'll show itself when the time is right. There's nothing wrong with talking about these theories, ideas, researching them, because it stirs others people's minds to think outside the box of what they've already been known. Who would have ever? I haven't to this day. Nobody heard anybody do a discussion on Nephilim and Bigfoot. I've heard the story. Me, vampire was easy. Vampires were easy because there's just so much information out there on that. There's archaeological information. In a sense, Vlad the Impaler, he impaled the bodies. Was he a vampire? No, but he used it as a form of fear. Therefore, he instilled fear upon his enemies. He triggered emotions that allowed him to create a weakness in people, which is a form of vampirism, because in a sense, he knew it, and he got off on it, and he used it. It was a tool for him. And who knows, he may have knew the art of taking someone's energy. Because when you instill fear, you're, in a sense, taking their energy. It's another form of vampirism. Like I said, urban and folk legends, the sky's the limit, because every culture has their urban and folk legends and myths and lores. It's going to be fun each month, going, and just picking a topic and going with it. Feel free, guys. I'm going to start wrapping this up. Feel free to leave your comments. Ask questions. Let's have some fun with this one. This gets us off the lectures and stuff that I've been doing. It gives us something fun to do. Something fun to work together and share ideas with. And yes, periodically I will do some live streams on this one, because I like doing live streams. I don't like recording, because when I record I have to go back, edit, make changes, especially with the software I'm using, which is actually kind of awesome. Like I said, I've been playing with it for a while. I've had it for a long time, I just never use it, because I always use Hangouts on YouTube or XSplit. And XSplit, just right now, is having way too many problems. And my license expired, so I'm back down to the basic freeform and can do less with it. So I'm just going to record videos off this. Plus, I don't have the best internet or the or the graphics cards to be using XSplit to its fullest. So that's why I'm doing things a little bit different now. But like I said, I want to have fun with this. I want you guys to have fun with this. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Just remember, guys, I put the titles as what they are, urban and folk legend. This is the only thing you're into, and you like it. When you see this, this is you guys. This is for your knowledge and principles, wisdom on a whim, and those things might not be for everyone. But that's why I have more than one category, and I do videos on all of them. It's just my experience, things I've learned, or my views and opinions on things. Others as well. I'm still working on getting other people to, like the magazine was, collaboration of a group of people from various beliefs and ideas to share their ideas and stories. We're covering everything for everybody. To me, yes, I have a donation in my description. That's on you. As I've explained in other videos, you want to donate, you can donate by liking and sharing the video and subscribing. That's donating. That's telling me you're enjoying what I'm bringing to you. If you want to donate, by all means. If you want to help, send me equipment so I can live stream out when I do some of the paranormal stuff. You message me and ask me for my information. That's another form of donation. Or if you just want to come on and contribute and share your knowledge and information, that is a form of donation. Like I said, things will provide themselves. They always do. That's the mindset I've had. I've watched it. It works. I've never been homeless. I never went without. Yes, I might go without once, but I always have my needs. My needs are always supplied, even when I think they're not going to be. That was more in the beginning. As I've seen it, that's the hardest part for a lot of the occult community to understand. When they're being taught, they want to see results now. You're not always going to get the results right away. Because, like all things, you got to have a faith in what you're doing. You got to believe in what you're doing. Just like we want to believe in some of these folk legends. We want to believe there's truth there. We got to be able to research it. We got to be able to get in contact with people that do and share these ideas and thoughts. And share our experiences. This is what I'm offering you guys with this series. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I want this one to be fun, and I hope it is fun. My voice might not sound like it. Like I said, I've had a bad day. But my day's gotten brighter and better just by doing this video, and I might be ready to do my live stream here in an hour and a half or two on meditation, which I probably really need. But you gotta find the fun things in life. And nothing's more fun than a good old campfire story of urban and folk legends. The things that go bump in the night. The unknown. The things that we are told, the boogeyman. That place is haunted. Let's have some fun. Let's not make this, I'm being serious. Especially when I give you my views and opinions and experiences. I'm being serious, but I want us to have fun in a serious understanding that we don't have the answers. We can't, sometimes we're not going to be able to show you the proofs. Yes, we might be able to show you some EVP recordings. We might be able to show you a flashing orb, but hey, we don't know what it is. It could be a camera flare, it could be camera orange, But we all hope that one day we'll get something to manifest fully in front of us, so we can have it recorded as evidence to show you. Say, hey, this really does exist. It's not fiction. But in the meantime, we gotta have fun while we're doing it. That is very important, especially when dealing with the paranormal. We want to have fun. Because when we're having fun, we're not having fears of what we're encountering. And I've already explained why. That's a very bad thing. That's why most people end up walking out of places a drain or having things attached to them and fall on home. It happens. Like I said, Dive First Paranormal Investigation is going to be a place I'm very familiar with, and what's got me into it a long time ago. It changed my life. Some of it wasn't for good. But it was my first experience, and I'm going to visit the place, and I'm working on getting permission to be able to do a night investigation out there as well. I can go out there freely during the day and record, but I want the permission to be able to go out there at night because that's when it was the active. But I'm going to share my story on that as well. And I'm working on getting things set up now. I'm not going to be able to live stream it. Like I said, I don't got a hotspot to do it. And I'm not working right now, so I can't afford to buy a hotspot. And my phone's deactivated, so. But I can record all day long. And I have some equipment that allows me to do EVPs. And we'll just have some fun. And I'll share my story, and maybe I might be able to bump into a few people that also was there for the ride during that experience. And they can share their stories. I know a few of them won't speak of it. But like I said, if you guys want me to, and another thing, this is what comments important. If you guys want me to do some topic on something, let me know. I'll even do viewer request topics. Let's keep it fun. But for right now, like I said, once a month, maybe twice. A couple live shows here and there, but for the most part, just look for this one once a month. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I had fun doing this one. I think it's the most fun I've had in a while doing these videos. It feels good to get off, off topic, so to speak. I'm not off topic, so I'm still dealing with the unknown, which is the occult. I'm just dealing with the funner aspect of it. Now I gotta decide what I'm gonna title this. I think I'll just leave it titled as it is, Urban and Folk Legends. Yeah, I might add something to it. I don't know. Like I said, I just want to have fun right now. But yeah, I look forward to hearing your guys' feedback on this one. And I got a phone call, so I will end the stream. Good night.